What are the first 3 steps someone should take if they're financially poor in this moment to set themselves up by the end of 2026, they feel like they have a lot more peace because of the actions they've taken with this 3-step game plan over the next year? What would that be for you?
I would actually say, 1, figure out a goal that right now maybe seems a little delusional, but a goal that you want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
This goal has to be SMART. So it's specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's really, really important that we set our goals not in I want to have $10 million by the end of the year. It's like, okay, no.
10,000 might be a better goal.
Like I want
$1,000.
Like I want to have this much money from doing this by this time for this reason. Make sure it's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Having that clarity of the goal, that is step number 1, because you always have to have a target.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just shoot in the dark, right? You have to have a target. 2, I would sit down and list out your strengths and weaknesses that'll actually help you get to and hold you back from that goal. So it's like, oh, your strength is that you are actually really, really good at saving money. You don't like to spend money. But your weakness is that you are absolutely terrified to part with cash from your bank account. You hold everything in a checking account. You want to see it at all times. Baby, you got to invest.
Yeah,
it's losing value. You got to invest.
Yep.
So write down all your strengths and weaknesses that might help you or hurt you from getting to that goal. And the 3rd, you already mentioned this a little earlier, get a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
My mentor at JP Morgan changed my life.
Really?
When I started working there, she was my manager and she was my intern sponsor the prior summer. But I looked around and it was 40 white guys in suits.
Yeah.
And they all came from one of 2 backgrounds. Either they were likely from very, very affluent families where Uncle Roger also worked on Wall Street and was like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, got, whoever on the desk. Or they went to an Ivy League institution, played football, lacrosse, basketball, whatever. They were all athletes from these really, really elite universities because Wall Street loves to recruit athletes. It helps with like a team morale and, workplace environment. I looked around and I'm like, well, I don't have a rich Uncle Roger. I did not play a collegiate sport and I'm not a man. So just to state the obvious, I was like, who the hell am I going to relate to? There was one woman. She also happened to be an Asian woman.
Mm.
And she was everything I wanted to be. She walked into work, click-clacked her heels, like Gucci stilettos on the marble floor, flung a new Chanel bag on the desk every single day.
Wow.
I went to her apartment and it was the first person I'd ever seen own real estate in New York City. And I knew she was really rich because she could afford a dog. She had a dog in New York City.
You got dog sitters and dog walkers. And
Her dog ate like human grade food it was like crazy.
I was like $500 a month in food for the dog.
I was like, and I looked to her for everything, whether it was, hey, I don't even know what health insurance I want or what to invest in, or even frankly, I would call her and be like, I really like this boy. He still hasn't texted me back. And she would be like, have some self-respect. And she gave me so much financial wisdom. And I talk about her all the time. But like, what I think people don't realize is like how much of an impact she actually had on my life, not just my finances. Like, we're friends.
Wow.
And I went to her apartment one weekend and she was cleaning out her closet. And she was just, putting stuff in certain bags to give away. And I will never forget this. She gifted me a pair of YSL heels, unworn. They were a little too big, or I can't remember if they were a little too big or a little too small.
$1,000 heels or something.
Yeah, they were like $1,000 heels. They were black leather, gold toe.
You still have them today.
I do, by the way. And I was like so shell-shocked that she would give these to me because she could easily have sold them for $700, $600 on some secondary website.
It's too much time. She's like, here
it's
you
not
go.
the time. because she had other clothes going into bags that were going out
that
to,
she was
and
gonna sell.
she was gonna like, send to a service that would sell them for her, and they would take a cut and whatever. But I asked her, I was like, why are you giving these to me? And she said, I think every young woman needs a pair of heels that helps her stand a little taller.
Ooh.
And makes her feel just like a little bit bigger, a little bit better. And she was the big sister I always wanted.
That's cool.
And she guided me in so many ways, helped me avoid pitfalls. She is the reason I didn't adopt a dog when I was 22 because she was like,
it takes so much time.
She was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
So much time.
She told me, she was like, it's going to ruin your social life. You will not have time. You will be picking up poop. And I was like, really? You got one. She's like, don't do what I did. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I avoided a lot of potholes because of her. And so make a goal, know your strengths and weaknesses, and find a mentor who can help guide you there.
That's beautiful. What is the greatest lesson your mentor taught you about money, and the greatest lesson that she didn't teach you, but you observed in her?
I think it really comes down to how she treated people. So she comes from like a pretty working class family background, like parents are in a restaurant. And I would see how she treated staff, and she was so kind, always, huge tipper, what have you, like would hand the bartender a 20 before she ordered. And that wouldn't even be the tip. That was just to get his attention. And she was so kind to people and frankly to people who like didn't have really much to offer her. And I think that taught me that like,
it's cool.
No one is ever beneath you. You are never above anybody. But two, seeing how kind she was to all of these people. We went to one restaurant one time and the food was very bad. And she told the staff, she was like, this shrimp tastes like it's been soaked in something because it wasn't fresh, and this is not edible. And they were like, we're so sorry, like we can do this. And she's like, I don't want anything. I don't want it comped. I don't want anything. I'm happy to pay for it. I want you to know. And I was like, are you sure we don't want this comped, by the way? Like, I would like to get something comped. Yeah. Free dessert, anything. I was broke. I would take anything free whenever I could. But I saw how she lived her life with a certain set of principles that she wasn't going to bend. And it made me live my life with a certain set of principles that I was never, ever going to bend. And it's made me a better person.
If you didn't have her as a mentor, or a mentor in general, where do you think you would be personally in your life and financially?
Personally? I mean, I don't even know. Because she's part of the reason why I stuck it out on Wall Street for those first couple of years, because I was like, it's tough here, but she's going to look out for me. And when she was no longer my manager, I left. That's what ended up happening. And I certainly wouldn't have been in a position to get the media job I got had I left earlier. And she was actually the person who got me that job.
Wow.
Because it was through her network, her connection. Financially, I would certainly be worse off.
Really?
Guarantee you. Because she taught me so many things that she made mistakes on that I didn't have to eat. Like, I didn't have to eat shit.
Yeah, for 3 years, you didn't make those mistakes.
I didn't have to eat shit because she already tasted it. And she knew it was bad.
Wow.
And she was like, don't do this. Don't do that. Oh, by the way, when you are thinking of and this is, years and years later. This was actually very recently. When I bought my place in New York City, I was like, who's your mortgage guy? We talked to her mortgage guy.
Wow. Who probably got you a better deal, or
we got the better deal through him.
Yeah, interesting.
So I know for a fact I would be financially worse off, but I think personally, like, she really changed the trajectory of my life. And I mean, my mom told her that at my wedding, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of your parents, did I read that you used to do like translating for your parents when you were younger with like money conversations and like negotiations?
Hi, this is Amy too. Definitely not her daughter. Can I talk to the claims adjuster? Yeah.
Wow.
Because even as a teeny tiny pipsqueak child with my child voice, I spoke native English. And my parents, even to this day, speak English that is very clearly, riddled with an accent.
Yeah.
And I have seen my parents, and I don't want to get emotional about this, but I've seen them face so much adversity or be written off because of what they sound like on the phone or what they may look like.
Mm-hmm.
And they came to this country with a dream, and they gave up all of their hopes to be able to funnel all of their ambition into me.
Mm.
And so
You're only child?
I'm an only child. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. Your girls are lucky
Oh man.
in that way.
Wow.
But like, I feel like I saw how often they were scoffed at or taken advantage of. And it made me sick because I was born here.
Yeah.
I'm not here to survive. I have a sense of entitlement. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I am entitled to a good life. I am a strong believer that only good things happen to girls like me. And I say that boldly and proudly every single morning in the mirror. I'm like, bad things like this don't happen to girls like me. And people are always like laughing on my team. They're like, that's like literally a delusional thing to say. Because
that's why you are where you are.
But I
you're
think
delusional.
I am a little delusional.
And that's why you are where you are. Because you believe it.
I believe it. I truly do believe it. But I believe that I am entitled to thrive in this country. Looking the way...
Let's freaking go, Vivian.
I am entitled to thrive in this country.
Yes,
looking the way I look, however I sound, in a way that my parents never felt that they were entitled to. And maybe in part, they were truly discriminated against, whatever. But I think a lot of it was also a self-fulfilling prophecy in that because my parents were like, oh, well, my English is not good, I'm not going to ask for a raise. Even if my mom was the star chemist at her pharmaceutical lab, or my dad was like, oh, I should just be happy to have a job. I don't want to rock the boat. Not rocking the boat is a big immigrant thing. You don't want to like make waves. But like my dad was also incredibly hardworking and very talented. And so I took their 2 hearts worth of ambition and jammed it into everything I do now. So I am of the mindset that everything I do needs to be compensated. My time is incredibly valuable. And if you are not with the program, you can fuck off.
Yeah, I'm not with you.
I'm not with you.
Yeah.
And
we don't have to work together, and that's okay.
I think I have been given this confidence because of many of the sacrifices they made.
Did your parents give you this confidence, or did you see, I guess, I don't know, I want to call it their lack of confidence or their insecurity around being immigrants here, where you said, I need to go claim this now because I was born here?
I think it was a side effect of having to grow up really fast. Like, I was a latchkey kid probably much sooner than it is legal. I'm old now, so please don't arrest my parents. Yeah. But like, I was a latchkey kid far sooner than, I was supposed to be because my parents couldn't afford childcare and also both had to work.
Yeah.
I was the one reading over my mom and dad's resumes when they would apply for jobs.
Wow. How old were you during this time?
Young, like late elementary, early middle.
Wow.
I remember reading over my mom's reports, like her mid-year review and end-of-year reviews on herself and rewriting them.
Wow.
And I feel very lucky. Both of my parents are incredibly smart. I have been given many talents and gifts when it comes to learning. I learned very quickly. I was always at the top of my class, graduated high school valedictorian, the University of Chicago, graduated with honors. I was always more academically mature. So I was able to help my mom get away with some stuff. And these days she doesn't even need my help. I mean, they're both retired now, but as they got more comfortable and they saw my writing, they would start to be able to copy and paste here and there. But like, I had to grow up really quickly. Like I was coming home to do my homework very like swiftly. We would eat dinner and then my mom would be like, can you help me with something? And I remember the first couple times I did it so begrudgingly because I was like, oh, this is like extra homework. Other kids don't have to do this. And I was right. But other kids didn't have parents who would make that kind of sacrifice and leave the country and the language and everything that they know to hopefully give you a better future.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. How many languages do you speak?
So I speak Shanghainese fluently.
What is that?
So, okay, basically my family is from Shanghai and Chinese is largely broken down into Mandarin and Cantonese. It is a dialect of Mandarin, but it is so vastly different from Mandarin that I do not fully understand and speak Mandarin at a
Really?
fluent level.
Wow.
The
You can
words
understand some of it, but
I
not.
can. And my understanding is better than my speaking
Sure.
Mandarin, but like at home, we speak Shanghainese.
Wow.
And it's a dying language, unfortunately, because they're no longer teaching it in Shanghai like schools because they want everybody to have one uniform language.
Mandarin versus Chinese is
Just like Mandarin. Like they want everybody to speak Mandarin.
wow.
Yeah.
So who speaks it now?
Like when I went back to Shanghai in 2019, only people over the age of like 50.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can't really
like I could talk to all of the aunties and uncles. I could talk to the old people, but the young people, I would be like asking them for directions and be like, we don't know what you're saying.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're like an outsider there.
No, not quite, because all of the like senior citizens are like,
They love you.
they're all so pleasantly surprised that someone who like looks like me and is very clearly American can speak Shanghainese this way.
That's cool.
But I had an easier time asking like, this old uncle, like I was like, is the food good at this restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the food is the food. I'm like, damn, why are you in such a bad mood? And his wife laughed that I could say that in Shanghainese.
That's funny.
And she actually answered, and we had a nice
cool.
little chat. He was just like a curmudgeonly old man. But like to even be able to have that interaction like is strange, because the older generation, they typically largely speak Shanghainese only.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. You mentioned this kind of entitlement mindset.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, I feel, what do you say in the morning when you wake up? You say
only good things happen to girls like me.
And you mentioned also like, and I love this about you, and I really want people to understand what's underneath this, because I truly believe the difference between you setting a goal and a plan for yourself and actually accomplishing it is your mindset and your belief that you are capable of accomplishing it, and you are entitled to accomplish it, not just because you were born here, but because you're willing to do the work and take the actions to go through the growing pains to make that accomplishment happen. And there's a belief underneath it where a lot of people might say, okay, I have this game plan, but they don't believe that luck comes to them. They don't believe they're worthy and deserving of having financial peace or creating more growth in their life. They don't believe it fully. And by you saying it over and over to yourself every morning or every time you're in a team meeting, that what is it saying again? Good things happen to girls like me.
Only good things happen to girls like me.
Only good things happen to girls like me, right? It's like you saying that over and over again. Maybe you didn't believe it in the beginning, but you started to really train yourself and then find evidence of, look, good things happen.
Right.
I was right. Good things happened to me today. And then the next day.
Yeah.
And it's just a reaffirming mindset. And I think a lot of people don't have that mindset.
Can I tell you something I said to my mom that like literally shook her to her core?
Tell me.
There was one exam. I think this was like 7th grade, and it was biology. We were all it was like bio class now. And it was a very, very hard test, and I ended up getting a very bad grade on it. And I went home and I showed my mom. My mom was obviously disappointed. She was like annoyed with me. She was like, why didn't you study harder? Da, 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 da. And she asked me a question. I don't know what compelled her to ask me this. She goes, well, did it ever occur to you when you were taking this test that you didn't know the answers, like to just like cheat off of someone else? And I looked her straight in the eye and I said, well, why would I cheat off of someone else? They're not smarter than me. And she was like, where did this confidence come from? But I think it's this belief that like, not that I'm actually smarter than other people, but like I've outworked everybody, I feel, in my life. Like people don't want it as much, but I do. I remember when I first started creating social media content, there were other people who had larger followings, more, locked in communities. They were making content, and so many of them have stopped. Why? Because content takes time to make. Ideation is a slog. You are on a hamster wheel. But I feel like I have a higher pain tolerance than other people. I'm willing to work harder. I'm willing to work for longer, for harder. And I will put in the elbow grease if I know it's going to pay off. And I deeply believe that it does, because everything in my life has shown me that the harder I work, the better outcome I get.
Yes.
And because I proved it to myself, I keep believing it.
Keep doing it too. Keep believing it and you keep acting on it. I love that. What would you say is the one financial habit that separates the lower or middle class from the upper class?
Buying liabilities versus assets. To put it simply, I feel like the lower middle class buys stuff. They buy stuff that loses value over time or costs them money, and they do it to look rich.
Mm-hmm.
But the really wealthy people, they will buy a fugly duplex in some no-name town, and then they will flip it. They will make it nice. They'll rent it out. Now they have an income-generating thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not buying stuff. This isn't the Gucci sweater. This is something that makes you money.
Yeah.
And rich people love to use this strategy. It's called buy, borrow, die.
Mm-hmm.
So they buy these assets.
Do you like this strategy?
Do I like it? I think it's smart. Do I think it's ethical? No. But I also don't think it is on them to not use this strategy. I think it is on our legislators to make certain loopholes less easy to exploit. Because I feel like whatever system currently exists, everyone should be using it to the best of their ability to get what they want out of life.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this and you want more inspirational content, make sure to click the subscribe button below and click right here to watch what's coming next.